the bar, yeah, we raising the bar.
You mentioned Black women and how they're being exposed to golf more. You have a jewel of a product, a jewel of a baby, and that's Sapphire Golf Tour. And it feels like you've not only just, it feels like you're bringing someone along with you, but it also feels like you are literally the bridge between golf, exposure, Black women, Black power, Black excellence. What made you take this step with Sapphire Golf Tour?
There's really no, I've seen enough, and I say enough, not a lot, but I've seen enough to understand where the challenges are. And when you look at college golf and you look at all the golf programs for men, and then you look at the golf programs for women, right? And those golf programs are like, young women are really talented. But when you look at the Epson Tour and the WAPT Tour and the LPGA and the Ladies European Tour, those women playing at that level, yeah, every once in a while you shoot like a 75 and a 77, right? But like they're shooting, the winners are shooting like 68, 67, 66.
Legit.
Like, and it's like, but there's got to be, if basketball has and NFL has developmental leagues, they might not be specifically for Black men, but look at the roster. These are all Black men on this, this little big league. And so when you look at the Canadian Football League and XFL and all these, they all want to play and have all wanted to play in the NFL since they were a child, right? But they haven't gotten there yet. But there's steps to be taken to get there. And my thing is that I've sat down with Renee Powell and I've listened to her stories and I know her whole history and I know the history with Althea Gibson and Ann Gregory. And I know that we have 8 Black women in 75 years who played on the LPGA Tour with full staff. That's not even a percent. I shared this with somebody and I said, look, it's actually almost 1/3% of the amount of women who have played professionally. It's close to like 4,500 who played over the last 75 years professionally. And Black women are only like literally like 1/8%. Like not even 1%. We're like 1/8%. And so I was running UGA and we've had our UGA Invitational, which was the Jim Thorpe. And then you have these Black women come and spend their money and pay $500 to come compete in our little tournament. And there's 7 or 8 of them. And we've had purses from 15 grand to 10 grand and they come anyway. Zoe Slaughter won her first tournament as a professional with us. She got $5,000 and it paid for a ton, right? Georgia Obo has won now. She won twice this year and she won close to, I want to say like $18,000 with us this year on the tour. That gave her an opportunity to afford to get to Latin America, the LET tour, Q school, travel with her mom, her dad, hotels, etc. Like the money, it might not be big dollars, but the money that they are winning with us are going to pay for the things that they need. And so the Sapphire Tour is literally just a bridge. It's a bridge from what we're doing with UGA to now giving them an opportunity and to play and compete as Black women and feel comfortable around other women who look like them. I'm very encouraged that they all like after each other. They're like, hey, if one's got an Airbnb and they got an extra bedroom, they invite another one, right? If one person they got a hotel, I'll share a hotel with you. They travel together. They support each other and they hang out after the tournament. Good. Like when the tournament's over, they might be at somebody's happy hour or a nightclub, but they're going together as a sisterhood. So what we've created is something that's unique and for the world to see that these Black women do deserve a place. Yeah, the world sucks right now with DEI and, I'll use Black everywhere else, but like I've even had to dial back a little bit in writing so that on script, like on the website, it doesn't say Black women. It says women who have historically experienced barriers in performance, access to resources, money, support, and etc. I got this wordle of a bunch of BS, but it still means black women because I had to do it that way. Literally, I had to chat GPT, Copilot, Gemini, just to like give me the exact so that I can keep it so that you can't try to be like, well, these women from Fiji, yeah, sure,
Yeah.
get it, but okay, but this is still our focus. You just don't. You just trying too much. You're doing too much.
Yeah, you don't get
So we went from 4 events, Chris, and now we're going to 6 next year. I want to do 8, but I think 6 is a good 2-year bump. But I'm very excited about our schedule next year.
When you think about 2025, and I know as black men, we usually don't do this. We don't usually take time and smell the flowers and pat ourselves on the back. But what are you most proud of from 2025, and what are you excited about in 2026?
I'm excited that, again, every year there's these things. Sapphire Tour was my 2025 baby.
Yeah.
I sacrificed time, relationships, friendships, personal money to make sure that this thing was successful. And right now it was a success because we did it. We had 4 events and we got to 4 different cities. We had purses of $20,000. We had 2 country clubs, 2 public golf courses. And next year I learned a lot because of getting kicked in the junk a couple of times and making mistakes on contracts, not paying attention to what was going on. And next year, I had some really cool meetings with some players, with some advisors, and also with leaders from the LPGA who said, "Look, I love what you're doing. I want to help you. Let me show you what we're doing, and you can take from whatever that is and apply it to what you think what's best." So that's what I did. I made some adjustments. We shifted the golf tournaments to, instead of being on Mondays and Tuesdays, we're now on the weekends. We've chosen primarily public golf courses because now we could get access to them on the weekends. Why? Because we want spectators to come watch these black women play. So Mondays and Tuesdays, kids are at school and adults are at work. So they're going to be out there playing as if they were on another tour, and there's no support there, right? You play better when you got somebody cheering and clapping and rooting for you. You feel a sense of pride, and I wanted that for them because they deserve that. So next year, I'll zip through it quickly. We're coming to Memphis. And Memphis, I got a meeting with the mayor tomorrow. This will not even make sense weeks from now. But the mayor and the city are like, we're all in. I got sponsors. Title sponsor conversations are happening. We'll have 400 to 500 people out there in Memphis with 2 hospitality tents, music, jumbotron, food trucks. Like, it's gonna be crazy here in Memphis. And then we go to Denver, Colorado. The other thing about Memphis, though, I'm going to be adding like 14 extra amateurs, which are going to be, I'm going to go find 6 of our top junior young ladies who are like in high school, who are heading off to college in the fall, but want that one opportunity to say, you know what, this is that big opportunity for them to go play in a tour event and then talk to some of these HBCU coaches and other young ladies who are playing collegiately and give them an opportunity to play. Some of them may have a challenge with that, but I'll announce it here on your show. The Sapphire Tour has a new NIL initiative. So now we're going to be signing collegiate players so they can now come play in our tournaments and not deal with the NCAA restrictions of only making $999. So if a collegiate player actually plays in our tour and on a tournament, they can make more above and beyond the $999. Because if they end up getting second place and win $4,000, they can get all of it. It won't be in a bunch. They'll get their initial $999, and then there'll be some social media, interviews, other things that you have to earn the balance. But you'll get it in 30 days. But it's the whole point of actually getting all of it is the key.
Right.
Then we go to Denver, playing at Common Ground. I can't wait to support Ben Pennyman, who's the GM. He's a good brother. I known him for 14 years now. And then we leave there and we go to the Essence Festival in New Orleans. So we're going to be this weekend as Essence Festival. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, we're going to be right in there for the July weekend. And we leave there. And you got to think, you got 20,000 plus black women in town. There's a lot of energy. There's nothing happening between 8 o'clock and 2, except for we're trying to solve a hangover.
Yep.
And figure out, like,
Exactly what I was going to say.
where's breakfast? So,
Yep.
and then we leave there. We go to Chicago for the WNBA All-Star Game.
Nice.
Yeah. So that weekend will be the premier golf tournament that weekend. And then we'll go to Atlanta, and then we're going to finish the tournament in the series. Our championship will be in Maryland, and it's going to be in partnership with what's called Sports Innovation. And that's the new initiative with Prince George's County and Colin Kaepernick.
Man, I'm so inspired right now because of everything that you said. But most of all, it's just the passion that you have for these black women, for the sport. And it's very just motivating. And I have yet to make the announcement, but in March, I will be starting a golf podcast. And I want to make sure that I collab with you.
At a bar, yeah, we raising